No, we gonna. But like I said though, it's. I'm not in. Okay, I am into it, kind of, sort of, but I
Yeah, I
don't
can
get
tell
too
you're
too
into
deep.
it. Yeah.
Like we got three different signs. We got Sun, Moon, Rising.
Okay.
So I'm a Leo, and Leos, and like I said, Capricorns is best. Like I said, two best friends. But relationship wise, asking me like a woman, like a Sagittarius, I'd be like, oh my gosh, like because I dated Sagittarius in the past. Obviously, I'm still single, but at the same time, it was compatible. It was just
So
small
You're
things.
compatible with Capricorns, is what you're
Yeah,
saying.
Capricorns, Aries, and Sagittarius. But then I know women Leos. Like I know how women Leos get. A lot of people do not like Leos.
Really?
But I understand the woman Leo because I'm like, they mirror us.
Yeah, women and men are very similar, right?
In a sense. It depends. I mean, in a sense, not really.
Nah, not
No.
at all.
Depends on the sign though.
But I do understand why God made us the way that we are, because it
Yeah.
works.
We all in a little kind of in the same. We in the same
Like,
universe.
what would y'all do without us? Oh
We wouldn't be
God.
here.
I think what would the world be like if women weren't here? Men would literally just be running around like,
Well, how we gonna get here without y'all getting pregnant and going through the whole we come from y'all?
right. That's why women are like dope,
Yeah, like we need y'all.
and we need y'all.
Yeah, but and
But y'all definitely need us.
oh, we need y'all. We need y'all to run the household accordingly. Like y'all know
Yeah.
how to do it. We can't. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Yeah, we big strong. We build everything. You know what I'm saying? But
You
at the
the
end of the
head
day,
for sure.
yeah, like but the details. You know what I'm saying? Y'all very very important
Yeah, absolutely.
in the family, in the marriage, and relationship, all of that.
Yeah, what would y'all do?
We can't do nothing. Like my boy James Brown said, I was just jamming James Brown. I jammed Mr. Man's World, singing it, at the crib.
Yeah,
But
90s.
it wouldn't be none without y'all.
You're a 90s baby.
For sure. I'm 93 to be exact.
95.
The best year.
Shout out to 95s.
Ain't that you a Gen Z? That's Gen Z?
Millennial.
I'm just playing. I know.
What's it? Millennium? Millennial.
Millennial
Millennials.
until you're
Millennium, not the millennial.
1996 or 7 or 8. 6? So 96 and behind is no. I'm talking about Gen Z because you got we millennials, but yes we are.
We're
No,
not.
because Gen X is above us, and baby boomers is like my mama's age, who's 69.
So we
Be-
Gen Z?
no, behind us is Gen Z.
We're millennials.
Yeah, we're millennials. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Like,
and then they're Gen X after us, right?
like my brother's Gen X.
Dang.
Yeah,
How is he?
take a guess.
He has a 24-year-old, right?
Yeah,
So 45 or something.
yeah, 47.
He don't look that older though.
Yeah, but he's humble. He's humble, and he's overhyped. No. Nah, but I do. Okay, but I do want to ask the $1 million question. I know you probably get tired. Oh my God, another question. But what is humble overhype, Miss Chelsea?
So, humble over hype is my baby. That's what I call it.
Yeah.
Something I started when I was 16 years old in high school. But what it is a nonprofit. It became a nonprofit back in like my sophomore year in college. But what it is to help athletes find their identity outside of sports. I think oftentimes people look at athletes and they just see the numbers, the statistics, the hype, the money, the cars, the flash, like the flashy stuff. But in actuality, they're people. And so humble over hype is something that I started when I was 16. And I really believe that God gave it to me to help athletes find their identity outside of sports, but also to remind them to be humble and to bridge the gap between the world and athletes so they can see them as more than just numbers and statistics.
And then you got like a lot of people on there. 'Cause I watch a lot of sports,
Yeah.
and you
We
got
know.
like Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
I want to say Tua,
He's worn
Jalen
it.
Waddle.
Yeah, they wear it.
I want to say Baker.
Baker has worn it before, yes.
Baker. Kyler. No,
Nah, Justin Fields, though, for
Justin
sure.
Fields.
Yeah.
it's a lot of.
Yeah.
So, how was it? Like, who was the beginning? Like, who was like some of the first athletes? You say you started at 16, but like, who was the first to get? Like, who would you get? And then it just made this big, phenomenon in a sense.
Well, it's so interesting because like when I was in high school, I had came up with the name and the concept of it. And then when I got to college, I was already doing it behind closed doors, but talking to athletes, talking to them about God in the hallways, talking to them about just God and identity, and just talking to them like people. And
Yeah.
so when we were at Mizzou is where I went to college, and that's where originally like a lot of the athletes there started rocking with it. In
Oh,
Mizzou,
okay.
shout out to Mizzou, shout out to y'all know who y'all are. And then as time went on, we just started sending out our different stuff to like players all over. I was in the
Yeah.
SEC, so I was just sending it like through Instagram. We were DMing and just sending stuff out. And
Yeah.
then next thing you know, like this was like back in 2016, 2017. But you fast forward now, a lot of these players are in the league and stuff. And so like when Justin Fields started wearing Humble Over Hype, he probably was like a freshman, sophomore at Georgia.
Yeah.
And like this is before he went to Ohio State, everything like that. And then over time, he just continued to like wear it and rock with the brand, and then he became who he is today. So it really was just like seeds that was planted a long time ago, and I was just sending stuff out genuinely, just building relationships. And one player would get it, and I was like, well, "Can you pass this out to your team?" And they would just pass them out. And
Like
now,
for free, like just
like yeah, like it
because
was
it gives
just
you more exposure. I mean, like
yeah, it was really just like genuine. Like a lot of players, just people, like they rock with the message, and I think the message just speaks for itself. It's an opportunity for people to see them in a different light. So
Yeah, I
that's
like
kind of how
it.
it started.
I like it. I mean, simple is best, and it has a message behind it. But like my message could be different. I could look at humble over hype, and my definition could be different than yours.
Yeah,
And you got the ultimate definition because you made it up.
right.
So for me, I'm looking at humble over hype is people like similar to what I be saying. I'll be saying confident over cocky in a sense.
Yeah,
Because there's a difference between cocky and confident, right?
absolutely.
Cocky people. I used to play sports in high school. Guys will they think they big time, y'all,
Yeah.
but they really ain't getting the playing time.
Yeah.
They ain't really doing nothing.
Yeah.
Confident guys are like Joe Burrow. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Walk around with a certain swag.
Yeah,
He ain't got
swaggy.
talk. You know what I'm saying?
Swaggy
And I
Joe.
feel like humble over hype is similar in the sense to where like or humble,
Mm-hmm.
Joe Burrows of the world, guys like that, Kawhi Leonard. Hype is more so like me, just a hype beast. It's not even you overhyped in a sense. That's how I look at
Yeah,
it.
yeah, and I think that what I love about it. So when I started it, it was really it's about God and it's about finding your identity in God. But what I love about Humble Over Hype, it doesn't matter where you are with your relationship with Him or if you even believe in God. You
Yeah.
still it's approachable. It's something that can mean something to everybody. It's like a universal thing where people like. Humility is just everybody understands humility, right? Like no matter what you believe in and what your faith is, and so I think humility as the characteristic as a person is important, and that's the message that we try to portray. Whether you're an athlete or not, being a humble person is just, you have to be confident.
And anything you do in life.
You got to be confident. I mean, you have to be confident in this. But I do think it's important that you don't let it go to your head and get caught up in it because a lot of people get caught up in it, and that's what we're talking about. Like, don't get caught up in it because
Right.
people love you one minute and then they can hate you the next. And so if you define yourself based on how they feel about you, then you'll just continue to be led by the applause. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then that, at some point that can stop. And then what?
But do you think you like in sports
Play the role?
play the role? And because if you didn't like sports, would you try to send your stuff to athletes? Because
Well,
you'd be
it's-
like, who is this guy? Who does guy play for Alabama?
Well, you know, it's funny because I think I've always known I wanted to make an impact in the world. So I think like when I came up with the concept, I was like, oh wow, like athletes have a huge platform, but like who helps them? Because I think we give so many people so much stuff. Like here's all this money, here's all this status, but we don't give them the tools that they need to handle it. And so a lot of people are like, poor athlete. Like athletes aren't like they got everything they need, but it's like mentally, like for somebody to really have to be able to handle all of this status and this money, it's not easy as people think. Like people are literally worshiping you like you're a god.
Yeah.
I don't think we were really humanly made to even be able to like
You handle
fathom.
all that.
Yeah, so when you see people who have it all still be depressed, or when you see people who have it all who still are not happy, I mean, people be like, well, how are they not happy? It's because that stuff really is not what makes you happy. It can help, but it's not the ultimate thing. And I think our message is just like, hey, like, I know guys who, or whoever who used to be like in college broke, and now they like multi-millionaires. You know what I'm saying? That's a huge difference, you know what I mean? Your life, like your life has changed drastically, and so I could see why people get caught up in it. But our message is just saying like, hey, don't get caught up in it. Don't forget where you come from. Don't forget what really matters, because when if this stuff was to ever leave you, you can't take it with you.
Stay on.
It happens all the time, and I also know a lot of people who have been successful. You name all the people that wear it. It's a lot of prominent people that wear it. That's great, but I also know people who didn't make it to the league and who didn't make and have all this money. I know what that does to them too, and mentally and all that. So I get to see both sides of it, and I think the part about sports that we don't really talk about is those that don't make it to the next level. Well, then what do? Right?
Right.
Your whole life you've been doing this one thing your whole life, and it's like at some point it stops, and that's
Yeah.
your whole identity. So it's like pulling a rug from under somebody and then falling flat on their face. And that's where like
Yeah.
I become passionate about and want to just create resources and things to have that conversation at an earlier time rather than later. Because the earlier we have it, the better.
Yeah.
The younger we have it, the better.
Right, and for you to start at 16, that's
Yeah.
a lot of people don't know what they want to do at 16. At 16, I still wanted to play basketball
Yeah.
in high school, and I didn't think I'd be doing this. I was the most shy person ever.
Yeah.
I couldn't even get in front of a classroom with 15, 20 people
Yeah.
and talk. 'Cause
Yeah.
I had no confidence in myself.
Yeah.
I had no confidence of the things that was coming out of my mouth
Yeah,
as a
yeah.
young kid.
Yeah.
I was getting called names too.
Yeah.
I got called very bad names in school.
Yeah, people was mean.
I got called Squidward.
People called you Squidward?
Yeah, my nose is big. I grew into my nose now. But I used to get called Squidward. And I don't need nobody else trying to call me Squidward from here on out. So don't ever use that against
Wow.
me. Okay?
People are mean.
'Cause I don't get called. I used to get called Bell Pepper Nose ass nigga.
Oh.
Yeah. Shut up, Bill Pepper Nose.
Hey, but it don't even matter, right? Because look at you now.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I used to have a pimp on my nose all the time every 3 weeks. And it
Wow.
was very red. It'd be very white.
Whoever did that, like, y'all wrong.
I used to get called that. And it just got to a point I said, you know what? I'm not talking to nobody.
Yeah.
I was gonna play ball and shut up.
Yeah.
But at 16, I didn't. You know.
You didn't know, yeah.
I didn't know, and
Yeah.
that's a sign. That's a
Well,
sign.
I mean, if you would have known me when I was younger, like I was voted most likely to change the world in high
Really?
school. Yeah, I was
Wow.
always known for that, and so I've always known I had a calling on my life to go spiritual. I'm a very spiritual person, but I've always known I had a calling on my life to do something big. And so for me, I felt like with Humble Over Hype, God gave me that. But with athletes, I could impact one, and then I could impact a whole world and generation of people.
It all starts with one.
It just starts with one, and I think for me, it doesn't matter who you are, whether you're LeBron or I treat everybody the same. I don't look at anybody as better or anybody. I don't treat anybody any differently. Like I'm grateful for whoever wears my brand, whether it's a LeBron James or whoever you want to call, or if it's just somebody who's walking down the street. Like everybody is a person. Like the only person that I worship is God. I don't worship man, and I think that's why God trusts me enough to have something like this. Because it doesn't. I mean, I'm grateful for all of the big names. Thank y'all for wearing Humble Over Hype, but it's like. It doesn't mean like I don't care about everybody who wears it. Like I'm just as like intentional with everybody.
I mean, and that's real. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because, like you said, people always worshiping other people.
Absolutely.
You know, and the thing is, the starstruck thing is like, man, like,
Yeah.
you got people just wearing your brand, wearing your hoodie, your shirt.
Yeah.
And you looking as far as, I'm just handling business. I'm not even looking at the same. I'm not even in the same tunnel as y'all.
Yeah,
Like,
that's the most
business
question I
people.
get asked. Like, how do you feel when so and so? And I'm just be like, oh, to God be the glory. Like I think for me, it's like the whole purpose of this is to help people. So for me, I don't ever get caught up in that because it's like they would defeat the whole purpose of why I do what I do.
Yeah, to make an impact.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the people that we talk about that wear it, they rock with it because it's a genuine brand. Like it's,
Yeah.
I've never I don't treat them any different. Like I treat them like human beings. And there's some that I know very well, and there's some that just wear it because they don't even know who I am. Most people think this is owned by a man.
And how did that make you feel?
Most people, I mean. Honestly, like, why wouldn't they think that? I'm like, it's sports. I'm not really on the page all the time showing my face.
You behind the scenes.
I really be behind the scenes, and like when they do realize that I'm a woman, though, they're like, "Oh," and then it's like, "No, she's," you know.
Yeah, like that perception, like even from even from some athletes, I'm pretty sure where it come from. Have you ever had a story? You ain't got somebody naming them, but has it been to a point you gave it to somebody, and they're like, "Okay, who I get it from?" And they're like, "No, it's me. I own this. This is my stuff."
Yeah, I mean, so there have been times where I've been walking like in the mall, and like sometimes I see people wearing Humble Lip Hype. I don't even say it's me, it's my brand, because I just kind of I like seeing it, and I just like taking it.
It was like regular people that you seen, or was like an athlete that you seen.
No, it's just like well, this one particular time I saw one time he's an athlete.
Okay.
And then another time was another athlete, but both times was an athlete actually
Yeah.
that I've seen it, and then other times I've seen it, but they weren't athletes. But every time like someone, I don't know, like I'm not really big on like showing people like this is my brand. I care, but I don't care, right? Because I think for me, what is it? Why do people need to know like who I am to
Right.
like believe the
You don't really
brand?
want that spotlight. You just
Oh,
want
I
to.
tell people all the time, I don't want to be famous.
Right.
I want to be influential, but I do not want to be famous.
Yeah.
I don't want no cameras following me. I want to have kids and a husband. I want like none of that extra stuff. Like I just
Yeah.
want a life that's like impact. I want to impact people.
Right.
But people tell me all the time, like it comes with it, right? The bigger the brand comes, the more my face is gonna be seen and everything like that. But for me, it's just about the message.
Yeah. Eventually, it's gonna probably be to where I'm trying my best. I'm gonna put your face out there when you talking. I ain't gonna just have my face on it and you talking to me in the background. Who was that talking back then? But that's her. This who owns it.
Yeah,
Now they
you,
gonna know.
you can show them my face. It's fine.
Now they gonna know.
Yeah.
But since you're in a sport, what sport you like the most?
You know, it's funny. Growing up, it was basketball. And then growing up, it was basketball. And then when I got to Mizzou is known for football. So I really got into the football because I was in the SEC. So, okay,
No, I'm just asking.
we
I
were in
watch
the SEC.
I
Don't do
know,
my boys
I know.
like that. We kind of had a little battle.
I'm just asking. I'm
a
just
little
like,
hard
no
time.
football. I mean, they ain't winning. I'm not trying to say y'all haven't, but I'm just being.
But we were in the SEC.
And yeah, before y'all was in the Big 12 before though.
Yeah, but when I got there, we were in the
Yeah,
SEC.
SEC.
Yeah, I'm kind of young here,
Yeah, I
so
know.
a little young here. But I think right now it's both basketball and football probably.
Yeah.
But I get love. Like the love is real, So it's like people ask me what's my favorite team. Don't ask me that because I don't have one.
Yeah.
I have favorite people. I
Yeah.
guess.
I see like more football players like where.
Yeah, football players definitely wear it more right now, but we definitely are branching into that basketball world.
Yeah,
So,
I seen little Mikey on there.
yeah.
And it's so crazy how you got some of these young high schoolers. There's like a bunch of
Yeah.
little LeBrons. Well, I only say LeBron because LeBron was like the first mega high
Mm-hmm.
school star. Then now it's like a bunch of these dudes.
They got
already
social.
I'm like, man, what the?
They got social media.
I know that's like
Brian
the
didn't
biggest.
have it,
I know that's so crazy.
and he's still who he is. So yeah,
That's wild. So who you got in the Super Bowl?
like wearing it or who I'm.
Like
who I'm
who you
with?
got going? You asked. I know you talked about before we started, but like,
Oh, who I'm going for. Okay, so shout out to everybody in the Super Bowl because on both teams they wear my brand. So
Yeah.
let's just
You
shout
can't
them
be biased
out.
now.
Oh my gosh, I can't. I'm not
put you on the
answering.
spot.
I'm not
No,
answering it.
You got to.
I
Just give me one.
can't.
Just give me one.
It's too many people on both sides.
Right, it's 53 men on the roster on each team. So give me somebody.
I'm just going for whoever, what I'm saying, come down to. I can't do it because on both sides, there are people on these teams
That's
that show
fine.
so much love.
They not gonna stop wearing it.
I know, but people be taking stuff personally, like, for real. No, they do take it. Some people take it personally.
They ain't gonna see this.
They might.
They ain't gonna listen. They zoned in for the Super Bowl. They
You don't think they gonna listen? They better listen.
they got music playing. Nah, they zoned in.
They're not gonna listen. Who I'm going for? I don't know.
Just say it.
I can't.
Just say it right now.
Cause it's like I want the youngsters to get it, but then like we talked about earlier, like Odell and all of them, they've been in it for years, and like it would be nice to see them get a ring too. So it's like it's
Give
hard.
me one. Just give me one. If you have, you ain't okay. Not say going for, but who you think
That's
You
gonna
just-
win?
Yeah, if you think like it's just like man,
Nah, I can't do it. No, you is not about to get me slipping. No.
just say, if you had to pick, if you was on the side,
I can't pick it.
just whisper. They ain't got to see it. You know what's funny? You just whisper it to me. I ain't gonna put it on camera. Just say it. Okay, that's duh. I mean, I'm not surprised. I'm supposed to.
Yeah, but I love all of them.
Okay.
I want the best, like whoever comes
That's how
that
I'm
day.
rocking with too, though.
I know you are. But here's the thing. I think whoever comes prepared for the battle will win.
And it's so crazy because every time the Bengals played, it's been like, oh, they're going to lose this time because they ain't ready yet.
Yeah,
baby
but they
steps.
come.
I was like, oh my God, this actually happened. They
Yeah.
actually here.
Yeah, you can't doubt the youngsters. Come
And then you can't really say football is rigged no more. People always say, oh, sports is rigged. But,
yeah, they say it's Vegas.
But I'm asking about Mizzou. Like, how was that life? Because I'll be joking around with people that went to PWIs first. Cause I went to HBCU. I'm Texas Southern alums. Hey, I'm TSU till I DIE, baby. You know what I mean? I'm HBCUs all the way. I rep all HBCUs. I'm here for it. You know what I mean? So you going to a PWI, like I be talking smack some. Like, man, why you chose? That's the first option. Like, well, you should have came to us. But why? What made you choose Missouri?
So, Mizzou was like, I went to school for journalism.
Oh, same here. Okay.
Yeah, so Mizzou was like one of the best schools for that. It's like the number one journalism school in the world, they say.
Allegedly. Who
Yeah,
made these votes?
that's what
Who
they
came up with
say.
this?
That's what they say. I'm just saying.
I heard some of these schools. I'm gonna keep them.
Nah, Mizzou is really lit.
No, they good. I know. Yeah,
They're a really good school. So I went there, and then also I applied to like a lot of schools, and I just was applying to schools. But I know I wanted to do journalism, so I went there because of that's the only way you could get me to go to the Midwest. Because why would I go from the South to the Midwest?
And you from here, born and raised?
I'm originally from New Orleans,
Really?
Louisiana. Yeah, shout out to New Orleans.
My family from New Orleans. I didn't know that.
I moved here at 10 when Hurricane Katrina hit. So that's really another thing too. I'll point that out. I think that's where humility started for me because I lost everything in Katrina.
That's game changer.
And we had to move here. And I think for me, as a child, going through something like that, that changes your life forever.
Yeah.
That kind of gives a little context of why I'm like probably came up with something like this. But
yeah, that makes sense. So then, but then going to Missouri, you chose that because of the journalism.
that's the only reason why.
And when they accepted you,
Because I didn't even know where Missouri was on the map, and I didn't even know what I was going into, like what.
And then like they hit you back up immediately, or did it take like a little?
So
process?
Mizzou, like I applied, and then Mizzou, they actually because it's a PWI, they wanted us to come there, so they were giving out like scholarships and stuff for that too. So I really paid like in-state tuition for it.
So you got a scholarship there?
I got a scholarship, a partial scholarship, and then I won the Dell scholarship too. My senior year, I was one of the Dell scholarship winners, so then that helped. So yeah, that's kind of how. But school was not all the way paid for. I'm still paying for school to this day. Yeah, Joe Biden did not cancel any of the student loans. And
Well, he keep extending it. I keep getting.
Yeah, but then there's the other one. But then there's the other one that's not extended because it's a federal loan or something like that, or non-federal loan, whatever. I'm paying it. So just know that. So if anybody wants to help me with my student loans, just hit me up.
We all need help.
We all need some help.
They need help too. They probably paying it from 20 years ago.
Oh my gosh.
That stuff is killed. Hey, but we know that one gonna get canceled, man. They got.
I know everybody can't. I don't think cancel, but I do think that they could help.
Now they keep extending. They keep pushing it back.
No, like take some off.
Oh yeah. I know.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
I think for me, I think my situation is different because,
help.
like, I think mine's a lot still, but mine's is low because I stayed in state and I went to HBC.
Right,
So
I
it's just
didn't.
different. See, y'all ain't think when y'all be going to these PWIs.
I didn't.
Y'all were like, oh my God,
Yeah, I
big
didn't.
campus people.
Yeah, I didn't think about it.
Well, $70,000 in loans.
Yeah, it was crazy. But actually, fun fact, never really talked about this, but a lot of my student loans I used to put into my business when I was in college. So I took out student loans and then I put it into Humble or Pipe, and that is how I got stuff made to send out to people to get to work. So I'm really technically humble over hype. I'm paying for you, but it'll pay off.
That's smart.
It'll pay off.
I don't want to cuss. That's effing smart.
Yeah, that's what I used my refund checks for. Was my business.
I was 21 going to Texas Southern, right? So I used to go to a community college. And before Texas Southern, I'd never seen anything over $1,000 in my bank account. I'd never seen a comma.
Yeah.
Before I got TSU. So I seen financial aid. And my first semester there got extended back. So my spring and fall was combined. So I had 8,000 right there. When I seen that Thanksgiving week,
wow.
I said, oh, shit.
So what'd you do?
We're going to get there. So I get this money.
Sound like you were wise.
I never seen this ever in my life.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, what do I do with this? No car, no car, no nothing. I got nothing to pay for.
Oh, you had no bills.
I go to the Galleria.
Oh,
So
not the
21,
Galleria.
I go to the Galleria. I'm about to for the first time tell the people my worst purchase ever in life. So I'm going to the Galleria. I'm buying shoes. I'm getting LeBron my favorite place. I'm getting low top LeBrons. I'm getting Jay. I'm walking around with bags.
Making them richer. Yep.
So I go to a store we had out here. It was called Pure in the Galleria. So it came from Atlanta. It was like the hip hop store and everything. So I go inside this store and I'm looking around like, man, I feel like I'm that dude. I'm walking around 20 years old, earrings, and I got 7,000 in my account. I ain't tripping. I walk inside this store and I buy a jacket It's like like a Letterman jacket almost, like a lightning bolt on it. I paid $700, and I still got it. $700 for this jacket. I bought a plain white T-shirt for 45. So I'm thinking like, man, I ain't tripping. Plain white shirt, and I don't wear that shirt. I don't wear the jacket no more. And if you see the jacket, it look good, but it ain't. So you would. I used to lie my pocket. I bought it for like 140, 130. You know,
Lying.
lying because I felt bad. So I'd never
Yeah.
seen a comic before, and I'm just spending money. My worst regret, and I ain't gonna say it's a regret. I'm gonna just say lesson learned because you make mistakes in your 20s.
Absolutely.
If I would have saved all my financial aid, mind you, I got no bills paid. That's $32,000 in financial aid I had in the total of my years at
Yeah.
TSU. If I would have saved half of it, I'm straight. I'm solid.
Right.
But here, I had to make those decisions
Right.
to get to eventually where I'm at. But I be hearing, I'm like, man, everybody, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I'm not the only one that made mistakes like that.
Nah, and I like money and generational wealth, and even the topic of money. A lot of us don't even know about. Like for me, that's why I have so much passion for athletes. I think that make all this money and don't know what to do with it because I feel like you give somebody. I know people like I've heard the stories. I've been sitting in the rooms. I know they like my bank account changed overnight. Like it went from this to like all these commas, right?
Roaches to rollies.
Yeah, and it's like, what do you expect it to do to some, especially like
Yeah.
men, because men are so defined by money nowadays,
Right.
right? And that's the way the world makes them feel like that they're a man. So to me, I think it's not crazy that you did that, because how
Yeah.
many people buy crazy stuff?
I'll be watching like the NFL draft,
Yeah.
and just me being a football fan, and I'll be sitting there, and when they sign their contract like a week later, I'm like, man, this dude probably coming from $500 or a
Yeah.
thousand to a $6 million first year check.
Yeah.
Now, granted, of course, you don't get it all at once,
No.
but the fact that you're getting that,
Yeah, and you start to become feeling like you're invincible. I mean,
right?
it's such a natural thing to do, and I think people have to consider that when they think about it, and don't think that money solves everything, because it
It
doesn't.
don't. I'll give you a perfect example. I want to talk about this. Henry Ruggs.
What? I know we were going there.
Now you know.
I knew it. I knew you was gonna say it. Literally, my
But
mind went like,
did you ever get him? Did you ever wear your stuff before? Cause
um,
he went to Bama.
I don't know if Henry ever wore it. Not that I know of. He probably has seen it and knows what it is for sure, but I don't necessarily know if he's ever worn it. No.
That's a perfect example of like, oh
Yeah.
my
My
God.
heart broke and breaks
I
for
can
him.
relate to that in a sense.
Yeah, I know
Be-
plenty of people that have done that.
Yeah, I ain't go to that extent,
But I
but
know plenty
see,
of people
if
that
you'd
have
have
done
kept showing my Instagram, you would have seen I talked about it.
that. Yeah, I did.
Because we ain't get to the other. We don't get to the other thing what you saw.
Yeah.
But I actually went through that last year with the car situation.
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying? Total blacked out, yada yada.
Wow.
And when Henry Ruggs did that, I was like, oh my God, this could have been me.
Absolutely.
I was like, this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
it's
just
so
like
quick
that.
to just judge, but
You just had a game. You had a bye week.
yeah.
And coaches always say they do not. They always get nervous during bye week
Yeah.
because of situations like that.
Yeah, my heart breaks for him.
I was like, oh my God.
And I think the world, I didn't really publicly say anything about it on Humble Over Hype and everything, because I just really been praying for him and everybody involved. But I think the world needs to really like take the approach that Derek Carr said. And I really love what Derek said, because when something like that happens, like he's feeling it more than anybody. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I'm not excusing what's happened to someone else or the family that lost someone. That's sad, but I think people have to really consider the fact that this is a real life human being who is also going to be facing consequences for his actions. But there's so many people that have done this that just didn't get caught.
I know. And I think,
And it's like, God, everybody's so like, oh, that was a dumb decision. And it was. Like, we understand that, but it's like, yo, like, I know so many people that could have been.
yeah, could have
Like,
been.
whether you an athlete or not. Like, so many people. I mean, so.
And my thing is, I know he's gonna get time. I understand. I know that's America, right?
Yeah.
But if we really, really want to make a country like this better,
Yeah.
Jail is not. I know they died. A dog died and a woman died.
Yeah.
They look. I know.
Yeah.
But
Rest in
if we
peace.
really want to help somebody,
Yeah.
jail is not going to help. That's going to make it worse.
Yeah.
Because he don't have no criminal history.
Yeah.
He just had one too many. But I know they say he has a history. His girlfriend said he'd always be speeding all the
Yeah.
time, so it was going
Yeah,
to
he's a
catch him too.
kid
Right. You know what I'm
that we
saying?
gave millions of dollars. That has millions of dollars, and I'm not making an excuse for his actions. And you should be held. Anybody should be held responsible and
I
accountable.
get yeah. So I can't even say what I want to say. I can't even
But
say he shouldn't get jailed because he got. I mean,
you got to
just
be
do.
held accountable, right? But at the same time, like let's really take into consideration, like this, he's like so young, multimillionaire,
He's a Gen. That's a true Gen Z.
and feeling himself probably, like got a fresh new car, like his car's lit, like. I could see how it all happened, and I think so. Here's another thing. So for me, I'm very vocal and I'm very adamant to like all the people that we know or support us, or even if I'm having private conversations, like I'm always talking about like every choice that you make in your life is has consequences to them, and they I could, either can be good or bad. But when too much is given, much is required. So the more that you have, the more responsible and the more you have to really take in consideration what you're doing, and that involves the people that are around you, the people that you surround yourself around, the things that you surround yourself around, and where you place yourself. Right, and I think for me this is not just about Henry, but this is about anybody. Like, you have to be mindful of every time. And I know we're not perfect people. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna make mistakes, whatever. But it's like, it's unfortunate that you really don't have that many times to mess up as a person that has all this money status and is a public figure. It's unfortunate that we live in a world that will crucify you if you do make a mistake, right? But we have to really consider the fact that so much is given, much is required, and you have all the tools. When you start to have money, status, da da da, all mixed in, you have all the tools to destroy yourself,
Right.
right? Too much of anything, right, is bad.
Right.
Besides God, in my
Right.
opinion.
No, and that's true. So I'm gonna ask you this. Besides, I know the brand what you got right now makes you happy.
Yeah, it
So
brings joy for
what
sure.
else? What else brings you happy? What else brings you joy in this life?
Bahama Bucks. I,
What's that? What's behind my bucks?
it's a snowball, like a snow cone.
Huh?
Oh my god, like like a snow ice.
Yeah.
I love them. That brings me joy.
Man, I try to ask a deep question around here.
You asked me a question.
I asked try to get deep and real like some type of
He,
clip I could potentially post and a simple
well, you
question.
can post this
And
one.
I try to find something that was real that's gonna get deep for the people like, man, I'm thinking it's gonna go somewhere about God, Christ, I'm thinking gonna be something about
Oh, we
like,
definitely gonna go there too. But you asked me.
you said snow cone?
But no. It's not any snow cone. It's Bahama Bucks. It's white coconut with condensed milk
That's even worse.
with gummy bears, please. That's my order.
Where you
In case
get this
anybody
from?
wants to know what's the key to my heart, Bahama Bucks.
And you see how I asked that question? Now I'm gonna go back and look at these clips. And I had this serious. I'm like, man, what brings you joy in life? I'm trying to get like a deep, what I'm saying, like one of them clips. But then you say this. You bring up a snow cone?
It brings me so. It is like my thing for myself that I like. It costs probably like $6, but it brings me so
How much it cost?
It's like $6
For a snow cone.
because I add condensed milk and gummy bears. You have to have both, and it brings me so much joy in my life. It's the simple things in life. See, people think it's all this other stuff, but it's really that for me. It's that. It's really. I'm very simple. It's kind of crazy. I'm very simple. So yeah, that's one of the things that brings me joy. Would you like me to continue the other things that bring me joy?
We talking about a snow cone. Now it's cold as hell around this time. And we talking about a snow cone.
Oh, I love snow cones.
Snow cones
It's
on
a
the
snowball. Where I'm from, we call it snowballs. From New Orleans, we call it snowball, but everybody says snow cone, so I'd be like snow cone.
other than snow cones.
What brings me joy?
Yes.
God. I think God brings me a lot of joy, and also helping other people achieve their best self. Like, I love helping people find their best self. Like, it gets my gears going when I can like walk with people through hard times and then see them grow and then see them like that brings me joy.
And was there anything else that, like, I know, bringing up God and everything, I know you talk about Katrina, right? And you said you was 10 around that
10 years
time.
old, yeah.
Was that when did you actually, you know what I'm saying, find like not gonna say find. I mean, I don't know when, but as far as like being so much into spirituality, is that
Spirituality.
spirituality
Yeah.
and God. And
Yeah.
when it was it before Katrina, or you know what I'm saying, was it something that happened in life? Was there something that changed and be like, you know what, I'm gonna give myself, you know what I'm saying,
Fully.
everything to God, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So like growing up, my dad and I love my dad to death. So make a disclaimer. I love my dad. Me and my
Yeah.
dad are good people. We love each other. But my father was an alcoholic growing up. So for me, it was tough dealing with that, and I think I needed something. Like most of the time when as a young woman, when you go through something like that, you try to find that fatherly love and figure in all these different things. And so for me, it was God, and I think my mom had a lot to do with that, just because she worked so many jobs. She worked 2 jobs, and she always was working, and she always would be like, God give me strength, and like God give me strength. And I watched my mom work and work and work and really just be a strong person, and always telling something to give her strength, right? God give her strength. So eventually you start, as a kid, you start to really wonder, like, what is that? Like, what is she talking about? And over time, I think because of my father's struggle with that, I needed something for myself, and I didn't want to go to alcohol. I didn't want to go to all these different things. So I went to God, and I just really became invested and engulfed in that. So I think that's really like going through something like that, and like still, even as an adult, like you still go through things that you feel, and from your childhood. But when I became older, I think the motivating factor for me and why I am the way that I am is because I was like, well, wow, if somebody would have been there for my dad, maybe his life would have went down a different path. Or if I could be that beacon of light, or if I can help somebody get out of that place of addiction or whatever it may be, if I can help, then maybe their lives won't go down the place that my life went
Yes,
down.
that's
If you know me personally, or if you've ever been like in my presence, or if you even my brand, like, or whatever, like I'm motivated by trying to help other people go in the different direction, because I know what it's like. And I love my father. He's a great man, but when you're struggling with these things, like it really can destroy everything in your life, your family, everybody that you love. And it's not because he doesn't love you or he doesn't care. It's just that stronghold is strong. And so for me, I needed something. And I found God. And I think it's the best decision I've ever made in my life. I've always been known for him, and I'm okay with that.
and is your dad still around now?
He is. He's still around now. He still has his moments. But as an adult, it's different, your relationship with your parents when you get older,
Yeah, it was different than when you were a kid.
from when you're a kid. And so I look at my dad as more of like a person now versus like this figure who was supposed to do all these things for me. And like I'm trying to look at him more as a human being who went through his
Right.
own stuff
Yeah.
and didn't, like he
And
had his
not really judge
own.
them on it and stuff of that
Yeah,
nature.
you can't, because I mean, when you think about it, like our parents are just people
Yeah.
that God used to get us here, to be honest. And I think the older I get, the more I start to, and the more I'm an adult, the more I start to understand that life is really hard, and sometimes you
Yeah.
don't know how to cope with those things and
Yeah.
those emotions.
The only advice I tell people all the time that has mother, father in their life is to, you know, cherish every moment. Cause my
Yeah.
dad passed away
Yeah, I'm
in
sorry.
2014,
Yeah.
and the way I found out was like, oh, whoa, timing was thrown off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, I hear some of my friends go through it. Oh, my dad get on my nerves, my mom get on my nerves. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we fight. I'm like, man, look here. Whatever it is,
You try to get through it.
try to get through that. Fix it, cause you just never know.
Yeah.
One day, you just walk up and you like, damn,
Blink of eyes.
what happened?
Yeah.
That's how it was with my dad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we still have the same mom and dad, but I always say my one regret in life is not letting my dad know that he was having a grandson. It's my biggest regret because I was so scared. He was a military person. He was old soul brother, old
So
school.
you're scared to tell
You
him.
know what I'm saying? I told everybody, I told my brother, my sisters, I'm telling everybody, my friends, and I don't. I'm like, he's the last one I'm telling. I go to UTSA. I'm going out there for a week. I'm trying to tell her, I'm 20 years old, but I know I'm about to have a kid, right? She's pregnant. So I'm going out there. I said, I tell my mom, I said, look, when I come back, I'm going to tell her.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm leaving you to this, and I come back Sunday night. I come back, and usually on Sunday nights, I walk in the house. He's upstairs in his room, and he's drinking Crown. He got big. I ain't understand what the hell Crown was and how big a deal this shit was until I got older. I
Yeah.
started drinking. I said, he always had Crown, the regular Crown on the rocks, smoking a cigarette, playing Smokey Robinson in the room. Now his lights off. So I'm like, hey man, where my dad at? Oh, he in the hospital. I said, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? What happened? He had a stroke. Now, mind you, he always had strokes in the past, small little strokes. So like, man, was everything gonna be all right? But I can tell him, look at her face. I said, God, all right. So I have to battle through that first week. And the next day he come home, I just ball out in tears. I never seen my dad weak.
Yeah.
Ever. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, I lost it myself. So I always tell people, I say, man, look, cherish every moment,
Yeah, you got
every
to.
second. I'm a father now. And he passed 5 months before my son was born.
Wow.
And it was literally a change, a switch.
Yeah.
God said, hey, look here. I think y'all done enough, because it was so weird with me and my dad, because we all used to like go back and forth and argue and all these other things. But the last couple of months before he passed, we was just on point.
Yeah.
And I feel like at that time, I didn't really feel like it, but I feel like it was growth, because I was reading more books. Me and him was having real conversations.
Yeah.
One of the last things he told me before he passed, we was just working on something around the house, and he was like, man, kid, I'm 59 going on 60. No, was he? Yeah, 60 years old. I work still, but in life, you can never stop learning.
Wow.
At 60 years old, you never stop learning in life, right?
Right.
One of the last things he said to me, we having real deep conversations. So I always say, man, look here, cherish every second, every
Yeah.
moment. People that's listening, people that's watching, like, hey, gotta cherish them, because you just don't know. You know what I mean? And
No.
it's life.
It is,
It's
and
life.
I want to say this. I think for me, I've learned how to give my father grace, because I think that one, I want to be forgiven and I want grace from the Lord, but also too because I'm like, well, he's not perfect. We've had our times, but I think too he's here and he's alive. And as long as he's here and as long as the Lord gives us time, I think that I should do my best to like make that the best times that we can have. It's a struggle, and I'm
Yeah.
not gonna sit here and lie to you, because I mean, for so long I've been growing up like, I kind of just been going and building and building and building and just doing my own thing, right?
Yeah.
But my dad does try, and I honor that.
Yeah.
So for sure,
Is my forehead hot on this camera? Do I look hot?
it's sweating a little bit.
I look sweaty? I don't know if I look good on. Is my forehead bad?
No,
Okay, cool. All right, bet. But yeah, you gotta cherish every moment. Um, so I was gonna shift gears a little bit,
yeah,
right? New Orleans, Houston.
yes,
But you've been here majority. You've been
yes.
here 10. So it's
There are people that say I'm really from here because that's where I went to middle school, high school, all of that. But
yeah.
I was born in New Orleans, and we love the
You
food.
ever go back?
Yeah, my family still lives out there. A lot of my family live out there.
Uh,
My mama cooks, like she's still there. So,
yeah, my family from the Lower Ninth Ward.
oh yeah,
Yeah, they from Claiborne Street.
okay,
Yeah, they.
yeah, whoa.
I love New Orleans.
I love it too. It's I have a fleur de lis right here. So
Do you fall into the conspiracy that it was a conspiracy behind Katrina? Because every time I go to New Orleans, my family still believe, like, look, they bombed them levees now.
I don't know. I just don't think they really like tried to save it, but that's another
They
story.
didn't try as hard
Yeah,
as
nah.
the.
The stuff wasn't. There should have been a lot of more infrastructure that was better, and it was just.
So
Not.
it was like, it wasn't a more so because people always say they bombed the levees, which I don't know.
I don't know if they bombed the levees, but I don't think they like tried to.
Like,
I
you
don't
imagine somebody going out there and putting
and
bombs on
bombing the
levee
levees. Yeah,
in the rain.
Yeah, I don't know. I just know that because we're like a fishbowl,
Yeah.
there should have been a lot of preventative measures.
It wasn't.
They weren't up to code. I don't think.
It was
It's a
deeper
dis-
than that. It wasn't more so like, hey Jim, go on the other side. We're gonna bomb it in 2 minutes.
Yeah,
Come
no,
on,
I
they
don't
fighting
think
in the
so.
rain, it's pouring down. It's more so of the city officials, the people
Mm-hmm.
didn't try as hard because they knew one day We're on the Gulf of Mexico.
Right.
Something's gonna happen.
Well, yeah, it's a disaster that happened. I mean, that was also like it was bound to happen at some point. I guess
Yeah.
it just happened then. And I always, you can't look back in life and wish it went that different direction. But I really wonder what my life would be like if that would have never
If it never
happened.
happened.
Because I mean, literally, like I'm on a whole different. Did I go on a whole different path? But I mean, everything happens for a reason. So
Ooh, the butterfly effect.
yeah,
I love it. I love the butterfly.
I always wonder like, who would
But
your girl
one
be?
thing, if Katrina never happened, okay, I asked this. If Katrina never happened, is Humble Over Hype still here?
That's a great question.
I know, thank you.
That's
I
the
tried.
only. That's the only person that can answer that is God, because I don't know. Probably. I don't know.
You at home, hometown.
I don't know. Ooh,
You know what I'm
don't
saying?
knock it down, Chelsea. I
You
don't
know,
know.
more distractions. Well, you moved at 10. So I mean, it's not. You
I
grew
don't
up here.
know. I don't know. That's so crazy. But I do think that what God ordains for your life is ordained. So I don't know. What God meant,
But it's here though.
it could have been a plan that God had all along.
It's all good. And I do want to apologize though, cause I get my hair cut at the shop, and I know. Did you? And we talked about it a little bit, but I was like, damn, I did not see you.
It's okay.
It felt so like I was trying to find where to
It's
sit
okay.
at.
It's okay. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
We're
here now.
Who's calling my name?
We're here now.
But yeah, but no, I mean that is something that you sometimes think about because like it's always the small things of what would have happened if that
I don't know.
thing don't happen. I don't go to this school.
I
don't go
don't
to Missouri.
know. I don't know. And I'm like, it went that way for a reason because I look at my life and all the people that I've met and the people that I love and care about. I'm like, well, I would have never met all my people, so I don't know. I'm okay with what happened. I mean, unfortunately, people passed, and I'm not okay with that, but
Yeah.
I'm
So
okay with what happened.
one city you have to live the rest of your life, New Orleans or Houston, what would it be?
Oh, food-wise, like
Overall,
culture.
I'm trying to break it down, everything.
I love Houston. I want to settle here and have a family one day, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Houston. But I love New Orleans too. I love the culture, the food, the people. So that's in me though. You know, they say it's like it's not on you, it's in you. It's in me.
Yeah. I just never knew a day. Because I always grew up, always listening to rap, and Ice Hard hit New Orleans, I was talking about the murder capital of New Orleans, Louisiana.
Yeah, it's
I
not.
never would have thought in 2022 Houston crime would be number one in America.
Yeah, Houston wild. I'm like, what is y'all doing?
I literally just talk. I've been talking to people all the time about it. They always ask me, what you think about the crime? Yada, yada. Like, somebody just literally asked me today about it. And I'm like, we're the new murder capital. I never thought in 2022 it would be Houston, mother effing Texas.
Yeah, I don't
Life.
know. I gotta see the real results. I don't know if they lying.
No, it's really true because I seen a stat where since COVID hit March 2020, we made a complete 360 of the homicides and the crime rate. The rate did a complete 360. Because remember, before 2020, our crime was not high at all. Yeah, you'll get on the news and hear shit. That's every city. But as far as the rate, and I knew it was bad when somebody got killed inside of a club. That's when I
Yeah.
knew. I said, okay, we gotta calm down. I always say it. The one thing that would never happen, and it actually happened, was you in a place and somebody gonna actually shoot inside of a packed place.
Yeah, I think the world just wilding in general. So I just be praying.
I just say it's a few factors. Number one, COVID. 2, unemployment. 3, gun law. And 4, people out on money. Because, like we talked about just now, the butterfly effect. If COVID don't happen, and then people moving here.
Yeah.
Because most of the people that's doing the crime they're not even from here.
Yeah.
They just moved here last year.
Yeah.
If COVID don't happen, our crime rate's not up.
Yeah.
People ain't moving here.
Yeah.
And if we did have COVID, we got a governor who's not trying to lock up the state and trying to give us a gun law.
Yeah.
Last name, it's not. I never would have thought in 2022 because I mean, like I said, I love New Orleans, but remember, I got family from there too, and it's like it was at one point it was like.
Yeah, I think wherever you go, it's crime, it's all of that.
If I go to Montana,
Yeah. But
if I go to Wyoming or Idaho, I'm alright.
yeah, but that ain't where I'm trying to go. So.
I know. Ain't
But shout out to all of them.
I know. But do you see yourself staying here permanently though? Like Houston is.
Yeah, I do see myself staying here permanently. I do think that I probably would be open to moving to different spaces. But as far as like settling down here, yeah, for sure.
Moving out, if you live out of the country, not even live. You have to visit out the country. I've never been out the country before. What's the one place would want to visit?
I want to go to Africa.
Okay.
I want to go to
Okay.
the motherland. I want to go to over there.
Dubai too.
I can go.
Yeah.
I'm okay. I want to go to Paris. I want to go all in places.
Yeah. I still ain't. I still got to renew my passport.
I want to go to Canada.
You be too
Canada
cold for
always be asking for us to ship out there. So Canada, Australia, Switzerland. People ask for international shipping all the time. So
me. Yeah. So what's one advice you would give people that's trying to start their own brand or own business or something? What's one thing? What's that one advice you would give them?
So I'm always, this is me as a person though, so I'm gonna give advice from how I am as a person. Like, there's a lot of things in this world that people create and want to create, right? People come up to me all the time, like, how do I create a brand? Like, I want a brand like you or whatever.
Right.
But I'm gonna just say this: be authentic and be genuine.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, the bigger something, whatever you build the foundation of something on is how you have to like carry it. And so for me, I've always wanted to build this on authenticity and genuineness, because as it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, it's going to become bigger than me. It's already bigger than me at this point. And so my advice would be is be genuine and stay true to yourself, and don't compromise or lose your soul trying to come up, because I've never had to do that. I never had to do that. Never. And I'm not going to ever do that. So.
Oh.
I'm never gonna do that. So if there was one piece of advice I could give you, is don't lose your soul trying to gain the whole world, because it ain't worth it.
I'm overhyped.
Period.
Fuck, I'm talking about.
Yeah.
What I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. I'm overhyped.
Yeah.
So you went to God. I know you told me before that you do prayers every morning, right?
Oh yeah. I was on the I do prayer calls in
Okay.
the morning, early in the morning, 5:30 a.m. I'm on
Okay.
prayer calls.
Can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Can you end us off with a prayer right now?
Absolutely. This is what I love to pray.
Yes.
It gets me going. It's
I
one
love
of the
to hear
things
people pray.
besides Bahama Bucks that brings me joy, people. So.
And I like to hear people pray because I'm not good at giving prayers, so I like to listen to them.
But you know what? Let me stop you there though, because God hears all of our prayers, and God exactly.
No, I pray. But I'm talking about somebody put me on the spot.
Yeah, but
And
it
pray.
doesn't matter. It's still good.
Okay. Can you end us off though?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, good.
Laura, just thank you so much for the opportunity to come on here. I pray that whoever is listening or hears this podcast or even future podcasts, that they can learn from it, they can grow from it, they can build from it, Lord. And I just thank you so much for this opportunity. Lord, I pray that you just continue to bless Akil, whether it's in business, whether it's in his life, in his personal life, in his family, his son, Lord God. I just ask you just continue to protect him. I protect his mind, his heart, and his soul, Lord God. And I just pray that you continue to give him peace that surpasses all understanding, God. And I just pray for all of our mental health, Father God, that you just continue to be who we look to, Lord. And I just pray for the world and all the things that we talked about, that you just continue to be the king that's on the throne, Lord God, and that the world will just see you and know you, and that people will know that you love them, Lord, and that you care for them no matter what they've done, that you are still there and you'll always be there. And I just thank you so much for the opportunity. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
That's how we ended up.
Amen. Thank y'all so much.
Hey.
Love.
Oh, that's my little thing. If I play baseball and I hit that home run, I go on the home plate. You know, everybody do their own little thing. I'll be like,
Yeah.
hit like that.
Amen.
Hit like that.
Amen. Amen.
Real do with the kill. Miss Chelsea.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Humble over height.
Yeah.
Confident over cocky.
Yeah.
All that.
All
Hey,
that.
the shirt I'm wearing right now, my boy Charles, CEO,
Yeah.
Life, Conquer Everything. Conquer every obstacle, excuse me.
Yeah, get it right now. People
You know
work
what I'm
hard
saying?
on their brands. You gotta
Yeah,
get
for
them
sure.
right.
That's my apologies. But conquer every obstacle. Humble, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Thank y'all. Check it out, y'all. Thank y'all for rocking with us.
Real do with a kill. Subscribe, rate, review. iTunes, Spotify,
Yeah.
Google Play, all that.
All
iHeart,
that.
Everything.
Support people like you support these celebrities you don't know.
There we go.
I'ma leave it
That's
there.
all you heard. She said it right.
I'm gonna leave it there.
Real do with a kill. We out.